Modi government completes 4 years in office, he is called the doer in this government. It's indeed my pleasure to interview Mr. Nitin Gadkari, India's Minister for Surface Transport, Ports and Water Resources, right here on ET Now. Thank you very much for speaking to us, sir. 4 years of your government, and I think your ministry does stand out for being one of the top performers. I'm not saying that because I'm interviewing you. You speak to a whole host of people and they believe that you are the doer in this ministry. You've done a lot. But let me first begin with the question on that you had a committee on the 4-year report card of the Modi government. I am given to understand that you have recommended that the government should highlight what has happened so far and not announce any new schemes. Why is that?
Actually, the performance audit is very important. And whatever the things which are implemented by the government and which is beneficial for individuals, which exactly we want to indicate. And that was the feeling in our mind. And if suppose at the last year, because this year after that we are facing election, so any new declaration is meaningless. So whatever the thing which we declare and we complete in our regime, and that is exactly we want to take it all these things, different our schemes and benefits of the different people, taking to the people. That was exactly the theme of that new concept. And after 4 years, there are economic reform, administrative reform, judiciary reform, social sector reform. Lot of new thing, new legislation is there, and newer programs. And first important thing is the individuals, the poor people, those who are socially, economically, educationally backward, they are benefited. 16,000 of villages where electric connectivity is completed, and now we are giving electricity to every householder. Then 8 crores families, we have decided to give them gas connection and Segdi. Out of 4 crore we have already allotted. In Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, the account was opened by the poor people in the banks only was 3 crores, but now it is going to 31 crores, 10 times more, and deposited 80,000 crore. Even in the Atal Pension Yojana, the insurance scheme, the health insurance schemes, Fasal Bima Yojana, the irrigation, the individual benefit which is going to Gaon, Garib, Mazdoor and Kisan. That is the important achievement of our government. And we are now projecting that we are not declaring anything. Whatever we have done, that exactly that report card is given to you, to the people of India.
Sir, I will ask you specific questions. You have said that your government has done more work in 48 months than Congress did in 48 years. But is there a gap between, because there seems to be a gap between perception of execution and announcement. Coming to you specifically, you have announced projects of over 1 lakh crore rupees. Is execution keeping pace with this announcement?
Which 1 lakh crores?
You've announced projects through the term.
You are a journalist. I am making the announcement that in my ministry in 4 years, all ministry have awarded works more than 10 lakh crores. I am ready to give the list. You check it. And you as a journalist, you find out whatever I am declare, if it is not going to happen, you start the breaking news. You cannot ask me question because whatever I declare, everything is completed. And there are some things that are started.
You know, I think you have to be congratulated on how you increase the pace of road construction in this country. You had inherited roads being constructed at a very low number. You took it to 27, 28 kilometers a day. But I know you were more ambitious. You wanted to do 40 kilometers a day. Do you believe you can catch up to the target in the last 1 year left of the government?
The target is always high. If suppose if you have to give any target to your son, we always tell him that you should pass in merit. But giving target for merit, he passed in first class. But next year, my target, I declared it was 40 kilometers per day, and I am going to assure you that next year I am going to complete 40 kilometers per day, more than that. But my target is 40 kilometers per day.
Is it a fact that some of the schemes and some of the ambitious plans that you have are getting stalled by the parliamentary panels, by the NGT, and will you blame them for these things?
Because of the NGT we have some problems. But I am telling you the history of this Char Dham road. The road cost is 12,000 crore. It is a road of strategic importance. Now the matter is moving in the NGT, but we will try our level best to convince them, and we want to complete this project. Actually, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, Yamunotri, this all-season road is very important. The religious tourists coming from the world, they are going to Badrinath, Kedarnath and Gangotri, Yamunotri. And this road is important because it is going to the border of China. Strategic point of view, it's very important. At the same time, a motor vehicle act is stuck up in the Rajya Sabha from last year, 1 year.
Yes.
And actually every year in the country we have 5 lakhs accidents and 1,50,000 deaths. In a situation, enforcement of law, taking new decisions, issuing new orders, lot of problems we are facing. I am waiting for that bill. If it is passed by the Rajya Sabha, it will be a great thing for the people of the country. We want to save the life of the people. It is not a political subject. We need cooperation from all political parties and stakeholders. The bill is passed by the standard committee, then the standing committee, then joint selection committee. The bill is prepared by my ministry, but then there was objection. Then there was a committee of 20 transport minister belongs to different political party. They give me the unanimous suggestion. After that we prepare the bill, but still it is stuck up in the Rajya Sabha. It is really painful for me.
So in a lot of ways politics has marred that. But you know, there is one thing where you've scored very high and even higher than some of the peers in your government, which is the fact that while land acquisition has been a very difficult task for most of the people, you've recently announced that you've acquired land worth 70,000 crore rupees in compensation. How did you manage to do that, and why isn't the government following a similar model?
Everywhere land acquisition, because now the cost of the land acquisition is more than market price.
True. Yes.
It is going to beneficial to the farmers and the people. So still there are problems, the rules and regulation and system, because this acquisition is the responsibility for the state government. They are the stakeholders and we need cooperation from them. So somewhere there is a problem, but by constant follow-up, persuasion, because of that we succeed in it. Our engineers or officers, day and night they are working. I every time taking the review meeting with the chief minister, ministers, every time my state minister is going to the states, and because of all these efforts now, we are now in a good position about land acquisition.
Mr. Gadkari, I do want to ask you one question. When you say that some things are stuck in NGT and hopefully will move there and then in Parliament, is there always going to be this tussle between environmental concerns and development? And how does somebody like you find a balance there? Because look at what we are seeing in Tuticorin, for instance. There seems to be an environmental problem which has gone out of hand and a corporate who's found lacking. How do you marry the two interests?
Actually, very frankly and fairly, ethics, economy and ecology and environment, all are important. We need cooperation, coordination and communication between the all three important parts. Now the problem is that I am very much committed for ecology and environment. I am working for Delhi. We are spending 40,000 crores for Delhi for reducing for pollution and traffic jam. Our one ring road and this 14-lane road, we are going to reduce 27% pollution of Delhi and 41% traffic jam. This is report given by the consultant. So my feeling is, we every year 22% automobile, now people are purchasing cars. We cannot stop them. We need road, and if we are going to stop the road, the accidents are there, traffic jams are there, pollution is there. So we need the approval from the concerning departments. Plantation of trees, we have taken a program on national highway and we are already finalized the proposal of more than 5,000 kilometers for plantation of trees. We are making transplantation of trees. So at the same time, somewhere there was no option. We have to cut the trees. We need permission for that. So it is we need an integrated approach for that. Eccentric approach is not appropriate.
I think you made a very good point. Ecology, ethics and economy will have to go hand in hand. If I may just digress for one question, what do you think has gone wrong in Tuticorin? Is it a corporate that's not willing to adhere to responsibility? What has happened there? What has gone wrong? Lack of policy?
We need to create a dialogue between the stakeholders, because the project big project is beneficial to the people of that area. The youth, they are getting employment, and the economy of that area, for that the project is a growth engine. So somewhere it is the responsibility of the owners of the project to give the appropriate facilities for environment, for housing, for drinking water, for road, and for all type of essential the things which are important for the poor people. We have to protect them. Somewhere this equilibrium is disturbed, and that's the reason that we have to face the problems. So it is the duty of the state government and the federal government to make the coordination, cooperation between the stakeholders, and whatever the issues are there, our responsibility is to solve the issues. But when we are not solving the issue, creating the problems, then there is the cases like Tuticorin. It is very unfortunate. It is the time for the sensitive government to immediately interfere in the issues and solve the issues and create peace in the interest of the society and in the interest of the nation.
I will switch gears quite literally and speak to a very important subject that you have spearheaded, and you've talked about electric vehicles. And you've said that India should move to electric vehicles, all electric vehicles. So I wonder if we can do that in the next 12 years is one question. But the other question is that there was a lot of hope that a lot of people who cared about environment put in you when you said that petrol diesel walon ka to band bajana hoga. Are you still determined to do that? Because the auto lobby doesn't seem to agree with you on moving to electric vehicles completely.
ये मेरा वाक्य बराबर नहीं है. मैंने क्या कहा था कि समय के साथ बदलो. हम 7 लाख करोड़ का पेट्रोल डीजल क्रूड ऑयल इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, पोल्यूशन हो रहा है. अब यूरो 6 के नॉर्म्स हम पोल्यूशन के मैंडेटरी कर रहे हैं 1 अप्रैल 2020 से. अब दुनिया बदल रही है. हमको इंपोर्ट सब्स्टिट्यूट कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव और पोल्यूशन फ्री फ्यूल चाहिए. हम देश में इथेनॉल, मिथेनॉल, बायोडीजल, बायो सीएनजी, इलेक्ट्रिक ला रहे हैं. आप इस सक्सेसफुल टेक्नोलॉजी को लाओ, समय के साथ बदलो, और बदलेंगे तो इसमें आपका फ़ायदा होगा. और आप अगर बदलोगे ही नहीं तो मैंने मजाक में कहा कि फिर आपका बैंड बाजा बजेगा, इन्हें लोग आपको रिस्पॉन्स नहीं देंगे. मैं कोई इंडस्ट्री बंद नहीं कर रहा हूँ. ये 4.5 लाख करोड़ की इंडस्ट्री है, 1,45,000 करोड़ का एक्सपोर्ट है, इतना बड़ा रोजगार दिया है. तो मैं इंडस्ट्री के अगेंस्ट में नहीं, उल्टा मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि आप अगर ये इलेक्ट्रिक बाइक, इलेक्ट्रिक ऑटो रिक्शा, इथेनॉल पे चलने वाली बाइक है तो आपका एक्सपोर्ट और बढ़ेगा. आपकी इलेक्ट्रिक बाइक और ऑटो रिक्शा वर्ल्ड में जाएगी. और मुझे बताया गया है कि अब इलेक्ट्रिक ऑटो रिक्शा के लिए ऑर्डर आ रहे हैं, ई रिक्शा के लिए ऑर्डर आ रहे हैं. हमारा एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ेगा, रोजगार बढ़ेगा और ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री का फायदा होगा.
But sir, is there enough infrastructure for this? Whether it's the manufacturers, whether it is plugging and on highways or anywhere else, is there enough infrastructure?
ये अंडा पहले की आमलेट पहले ऐसी बात है. अब नीति आयोग ने स्टैंडर्ड्स बना दिए. मेरे यहाँ नागपुर सिटी में 20 चार्जिंग स्टेशन है. वी डोंट हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम. सो जब एक बार कोई चीज खड़ी होती है तो शुरुआत में टीथिंग ट्रबल होता ही है, पर बाद में सब बातें रेगुलराइज हो जाती है.
While we are talking about fuel, I think it's only fair that I ask you, there's been a lot of public outcry, public outrage on high fuel prices. People believe that petrol and diesel prices have gone up to their peaks, and this has happened despite the UPA battling with higher crude prices. Crude prices are low in your regime. Do you run the risk of being seen as an insensitive government?
This is not the case. At the time of the UPA government, the inflation, food inflation was 18%. Now the inflation is only 3%. As compared with the petrol, diesel, the sugar is cheap, food grains are cheap, the pulses are cheap, the potato, onion, tomato, the rates are very less. I feel that, I accept that. The petrol, diesels, really the rates are very high. Our finance minister and our petroleum minister, definitely they will try their level best to find out some way out for that.
So there's a reason why I'm asking you this question, because when prices were low and in 2016 crude prices came down to $30 a barrel, the government did not pass on all the benefits to the consumer, and rightly perhaps so. The government kept some part of it, tried to make a reserve, a cushion with higher excise duty. So when all the benefits were not shared, the consumers feel that why should we share the burden now? And is that a valid expectation from the government to reduce excise duty?
You understand one thing. In the opposition party or in the media, it is very easy for you that you can ask for giving concession. But as a finance ministry, it is a very difficult part to manage that. The financial crisis is a very important crisis with the state government and with the central government. But still in this issue, I feel that I only make that much comment that our petroleum minister and our finance minister, they will sympathetically trying to find out some way out for that. It is up to them. I am not the authority for that.
Mr. Gadkari, because you understand business, and this is a larger economic question I'm going to ask you. You're one of the few people who understands business, who understands how business is done. Your government has recently brought about changes to the IBC, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. You brought some relief for the MSMEs. You made the voting numbers have gone down. Some relief for home buyers. But the 29A section, which bars promoters, which bars related parties from participating in bids, is something that still causes a lot of concern. As someone who understands how businesses happen and there can be reasons for failure as well as fault sometimes, do you believe there's a case to review 29A for the big firms?
There are two sides. When one group, he want to purchase the property of that particular, and suppose the same person is going to take it that property, then it is meaningless. He taking the loan from the banks, he create the liability of some rupees, and he is taking that property with taking discount of 30-40% again it. It cannot be digested into people, they can't understand. So it is a big problem. So presently the crisis is going on, but there are three types of defalcation. One is a defalcation is because of global economy. One defalcation is because of everywhere there are ups and downs into the business. The 40 years, 30 years, they are regularly paying the interest.
That's right.
But in the business cycle, they are in the problem. Their problems are bona fide. We have to help them. But there are some fraud people who are taking the loan, taking the disadvantage of the system. We have to take stern action against them because they are basically fraud.
But sir, which is why I'm asking, do you believe there is a reason to differentiate between these different cases? Because right now there's a blanket ban.
Actually, this is a very complicated issue. The people have a lot of opinion about it. I feel that now it is the time for the country that we have to find out the way out. Actually, in the road sector, when I taken a charge as a minister, we have 403 projects, including cost of 3,85,000 crores. With the help of Prime Minister and Finance Minister, we have taken 22 cabinet decisions, and by which we have settled the issue, and we save the Indian banks from the NP of 3 lakh crores. Precisely. Now the sector is moving fast. We solve the issue. There is no charges of corruption, anything. We have helping to the banks. They are getting their money back, and the position in the sector is improved. So on the same line, we have to find out some way out. And when there is a fraud cases are there, we have to take the stern action against them.
No, absolutely. There has to be stern action against people who faulted the system. But my question really was on defaulters who perhaps became a victim of global slowdown and all of that. But sir, is this a position that your government has taken very sternly and perhaps a little not so practically because of this whole सूट बूट की सरकार allegation? Because वो उधर से कहते हैं सूट बूट की सरकार है तो आपने कहा है कि अब तो हम इंडियन इंडस्ट्री के लिए कुछ करेंगे ही नहीं. Let's put a blanket ban.
Actually, in a democracy, every political leader and party has right to declare any policy, taking any decision. But what my honest feeling is, we should not mix up economic issue, we should not politicalize. Because the power sector, the infrastructure, the industry giving employment, it is a growth engine for the country, creating jobs for the people of India. It is related with our economy. If suppose we are going to politicalize this subject, it is ultimately going to create problems for the country and the society by and large. So this is the time for a responsible political opposition party that they should not make an issue like that, should Bhut ki sarkar. It is a wrong thing. This is the time for a mature leadership, that we are ready to cooperate with the leadership, the ruling party. We both will on the same agenda, we will solve the issue. That is the expectation from the matured leadership. Unfortunately, the way in which the economic issues are politicalized, it is very unfortunate. It is not for good for the country. It is really a bad thing for the politics, and it is going to damage the prospects of the country, future of the country. I feel that the country, the people, the political party, the opposition party, the judiciary, the media and the people by and large, in the national interest, in the economic interest, we should not politicalize the economic issue. We have to consider all this issue into the national interest, and this is the need of the hour.
You had told me in the last interview that we had that your big priority area is going to be the cleaning up of the Ganga. We heard Rajiv Gandhi say that, and over those years people have said that, and so have you. Where are we on this? How clean is the Ganga, and how clean will it be?
I don't know, but your origin is from Uttar Pradesh.
Yes.
You go and every district in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, then going to Jharkhand, Bengal, Bihar, we have 210 projects. 47 projects we have completed. 105 projects are going on, and 35 to 40 projects are in tender process, and 15 projects are in DPR. We are making DPR for that. I am giving you the assurance. Before March 19, 70 to 80% Ganga will be clean.
Okay, so let's talk politics with you. Just a few days back, we saw the entire opposition on a dais at Mr. Kumaraswamy's swearing-in ceremony, from Sonia Gandhi to Rahul Gandhi to Mamata Banerjee, Mayawati, Akhilesh Yadav, Sharad Pawar and all of those people. Your party was very dismissive about them coming together, but as a seasoned politician, will you undermine the index of opposition unity?
When the regional opposition party, those who are not even ready to sit with each other on the program, they don't want to see the faces of their colleague. They are now united. It is the indication that the BJP under the leadership of Modi ji is too strong. And our strongness is becoming a weakness for them. And that is the reason that we are the architect of opposition unity. Because we are strong, that's why the weak political party is now united. So it is a sign of that BJP is strong, Modi ji is strong, and the country is now in a good position. And now they understand that at their own, it is difficult for them to defeat BJP. That's the reason they don't have good relation, they don't have friendship, they don't have ideologically anything relation between them.
But they're coming together.
But still only because we are strong, that is the reason that they are now united. And the credit goes to Modi ji and BJP. Because of our strong position, the weak parties are now united. We don't have any problem. We are ready to face them, and we will fight with them.
Is 2019 going to be then about Mr. Modi in duels with regional leaders? It may be a Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, an Akhilesh and Mayawati in UP, a Naveen Patnaik in Odisha. Is that what the contest looks like?
Last 60 years in the history of Indian democracy, you know the character and culture of opposition party and unity. There are hundreds of experiments in the state and central. What is the ultimate result? You know that. So opposition unity is an impossible concept. It will never happen. It will be only unity for some month, for some year, for some days, but it will never happen. Now I feel that after the good performance of our government and leadership of Narendra Modi ji, 100% in 19 we will get good reasonable majority, and in 19 Narendra Modi ji will be the Prime Minister of India.
Mr. Gadkari, what will be your one big priority area in the last 1 year of this government?
The road accident is a big worry for me. Actually in my life also I faced the accidents. The youth of 18 to 35, 68% of youth deaths are there. I am very much annoyed for that. I want to improve the situation, but this my 4 years, this is the only sector is not a success story. I am very much sensitive about it. I want to do many things for that, but my act is stuck up in the Rajya Sabha. Motor Vehicle Act is very important. It is a subject in a concurrent list. We need cooperation from the state government. I am trying my level best, and when the day will come that we will reduce the death, 50% death, then it will be a great thing. It is more important for me than road construction, that how I am going to save the life of the peoples. This is a very, very sensitive and touchy subject for me.
On that note, sir, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank
Such
you
a
very much.
pleasure.